We took a video down last week. I never caught what was wrong with it. It was a safety issue. So let's just take a look at it. Hi guys, Fraser from Lifco. We have a simple cylinder troubleshooting. Customer says that there's a leak in this OEM cylinder. So let's take a look.
Right here, right? That's where they say it's leaking?
Our customer was saying that they were seeing a leak and they think it was from this fitting right here. Now we have tested this cylinder to pressure already. We didn't see any leaks. We're doing a second test and we're gonna hold pressure and see if we can reproduce what they were seeing.
That's not oil, is it?
You feel something?
I'm trying to.
Oh.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, you can't do that.
Yeah, right where that tie-in is.
It was on my finger.
Yep.
And that's a defective weld. Right at the start-stop.
Yeah, you can't do that. He should have just simply used a rag. The minimum pressure to pierce the skin is about 100 psi. That cylinder is at 1,000 psi. It doesn't need to be a very large orifice or leak that's coming out. All it has to be is slightly more than the size of a molecule of oil, and that's enough to leak out there. We took it down, but it was still a good video. It's not much to it. It's a fairly simple cylinder. I did like the idea, though, that there's this accountability. So people say comments on there, and I assess, is it something I could just reply in the comments saying, yeah, you're right, or no, this here. Typically, I don't say no. Usually I will, if somebody says something that's just wrong, I will just sort of say the right part of what they're doing. In this case, though, I really wanted to just film something again and get it re-added for the viewers. We do have a lot of repeat viewers, and we thank you for that. So thanks so much for all the comments. We love the accountability. It's all part of this building trust.
Like, I think we'd have to leave it, pressure on it,
So long.
for quite a while before we started seeing it actually trail down there.
Well, they thought it was leaking up here.
Yeah. They just sent us a picture of a dirty cylinder.
Well, that's a good thing we're testing it again.
So how do you fix that now?
If we extend it out, there's no seals down there. I should be able to grind that, just weld that little bit, wait till it cools down. And
I don't know what's under that. So.
Under this?
Yeah.
This goes directly into the board.
Leaks are a common problem in hydraulics. You can see one leaking in the background of our equipment there. We have lots of leaking equipment, and that's because we're constantly plugging and unplugging, screwing and unscrewing fixtures over and over again, adapters and fittings and so forth.
all the seals are on the piston and the gland. The trick is getting all the oil out of there before you try to weld it. Otherwise,
And if not?
it's going to be arrow bar weld. It'll just keep leaking. The plasma cutter, instead of grinding, you can't really get a grinding disc in there.
No.
I created a spot right where the leak was, so I can lay a small weld in there.
Okay. You won't be able to see the actual hole, will you?
No.
Because it's so tiny.
I could see it with the plasma cutter as I was like washing up material.
Yeah, the oil came out?
Yeah, I emptied it and then I re-extended the rod to keep the seals, the piston seals, as far away from the heat as possible.
Yeah.
I'll warm it up a little bit maybe and then put a weld on there.
Okay.
So instead of using the big tiger cord, I can localize the heat a little better with this. Well, this is for preheating it.
Oh, just heating it. Okay. And that probably saved the customer a lot of money from taking it all apart and everything, since you could just quickly fix the weld. I will come back then for testing.
Yeah.
All right.
So these ports here bypass these valves.
And now what's that manifold that's at the top. So a manifold is just anything that's usually an aluminum, sometimes a steel block that has ports in it. Well, that has some valve in there. It has a what looks to be a counterbalance valve to control the movement, and then some relief valves just in case it gets overloaded. What this cylinder is off of is a piece of railroad equipment. So it's like a mobile locomotive, where instead of the locomotive just going on rails, it also has wheels. So it can raise and lower the track wheels as it moves from rail line to rail line. So a very powerful piece of equipment. Because we were only repairing this one faulty weld, we didn't look too much into some of the capabilities of the cylinder. We saw that it does have some valves that are in that manifold there, likely a relief valve and a counterbalance valve. The purpose of a relief valve is, let's say you load the equipment up, it's too much weight, and it would slowly lower as it releases the pressure. And then the counterbalance valve would be a way to meter the descent of the cylinder. And how it does that, it does it with pressure as opposed to trying to restrict the flow. So let's say you were trying to shove everybody through a doorway. It doesn't do that by restricting the doorway. It does that by reacting to the pressure that's behind there. I might do a post on counterbalance valves, a very simple mechanism that's extremely powerful.
Oh, you got pressure to it?
Yeah, 2,000.
For a very long time now.
About 10 minutes.
I would say now, yeah.
And it could have been something that's just been like that little pinhole leak for the service until something else broke down.
It looks dry, eh?
That is dry. I'm calling it. Calling it good. End result, it's nice and dry. Aaron closed up the leak. Held it at pressure for at least 10 minutes and not even a drop. We'll call that.
The comments were right. In fact, we got more engagement when we show something wrong than when we show something right or that's really cool. I like that. I like it because there's a lot of accountability. It means that we are trying to be better by putting ourselves out there. Now, in this case here, it was a non-hydraulic person, and what they'd done is they'd rubbed their finger along an oil leak. If the cylinder was at 1,000 psi and it was a very small leak and he was to press his finger against that, he is going to easily be able to keep his finger over the hole while it's pressurizing and pushing the oil into his finger. Just use a rag and just wipe it. Don't have your finger make contact with that. It doesn't take much. Another interesting thing is, you wouldn't believe how many things that I say are actually like sort of technically wrong. I think a lot of times though, people give me the benefit of the doubt when I say a word, because afterwards though, I think to myself, oh, I really shouldn't have said that word because that's technically that's not correct. But a lot of people just give me the benefit of the doubt, or they just don't catch it themselves, or they don't care. It is interesting to see what people catch and what people don't catch. I probably on a highly technical subject, it probably takes me about 5 phone calls to engineers. I have to pour over my own books. So I got my Lightning reference book, which is really good for standards and calculations and so forth. And then I have my Fluid Power Systems, which is like a book from, I want to say like the 80s, on a lot of this sort of stuff here. It probably takes me, 5 phone calls, referencing this stuff 2 or 3 times, and then another 3 or 4 takes to get everything right. It's quite a bit of work. That's why we also like the posts as well. The posts are great. It allows us to go into something a little bit more technical. So if you're not paying attention into our sort of community, into our posts, you should be looking into that as well. We just got these Buy Hydraulics shirts in. Thank you so much for watching the whole video. Send us an email, sales@lifcohydraulics.com, with your address and size, and we're going to give a few out. One of the big crowd pleasers of our facility are our Cardex machines. Cardex is a brand. They sell a vertical lift module. It stores parts in trays, and those trays are machined from floor to ceiling. And we just bought 2 new machines. So that's going to bring us to a total of 6 here at this facility. And those are coming in December 15. The previous 2 machines, we did a live stream of the assembly. It takes about a day and a half to 2 days to assemble 2 machines. Stay tuned.